Although technically, it's like none of us will ever have too much time. Quite the opposite. None of us will ever have enough. No amount of time will ever be enough. So it's not that I am suddenly a stay-at-home dad with too much time. It's just it would be kind of a convoluted way to start the video saying a stay-at-home dad with now 18 hours of free time every week. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Justin M. Bailey here. And yeah, it's my daughter Sophie is in daycare 3 days a week now. Geez, from 8:30 to 5:30 every day, which means, well, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, that's 18 hours right there. And it's nice for me and the missus because she's got Fridays off. She's got the best job ever. So that's time for us actually to like catch up and hang out. And I don't know, maybe go to Dave and Buster's or something. I don't know. So it's super cool. What I did was like I actually I wanted to talk about where last week when I decided to make a video again. There was a lot I wanted to talk about, like the reason for it, because it's like one of those things where, yes, ooh man, now I have an abundance of something I just haven't had in a long time, free time, which is astounding. Like even when I was a correction officer, and basically since my wife's studies were important, considering what she was trying to do, I made sure to do, I'm going to say 98% of all the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, the laundry. I happily did all of that on top of with my commute, putting in at least 50 hours a week at the jail, and super happy to do that because I just wanted her to just do her own thing. But also it was interesting where I had more free time doing all that than I ever have as a dad, because children are wonderful and they take up a lot of time. And so it's one of those things where it's been so frustrating to me always, I don't have enough time, it's not fair, it's terrible. And yeah, I know. If there's any parents out there I juggle 2 jobs and my kid, fuck you. Well, I get it, and I totally deserve that, yeah. So, it's, we switched up where at first it was just going to be, Sophie was going to have, last year she had 3.5 hours, 3 days a week, which is, I don't know what, 10 hours. And then at first we were excited because we set it up where it was going to be 5 hours a day. And that's still nice. It's like a big bump, but it's not like it's a huge, super duper, insane chunk of time. But finally, actually for her sake, if anybody, it's just since she loves school so much. And it felt like half day, it's like she was complicated. But anyways, it felt for her even more so than me and my wife, even though we like more free time. For her, we're going to get her in where it's 9 hours a day. So for me, I dropped her off last Tuesday, and I'm walking with Scratch, who's under my comics right now. And it was one of those things where it was like the same crazy feeling I had when I first quit corrections, because it's just what is this? Where it's first of all, it's seriously, I know I've said this before, I was not I quit my job to pursue writing and have my wife all pay the bills. Yay, this is fantastic! And it's no, this part of it's kind of fucking scary, And it's for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's nothing scares people or makes people feel more, no, few things scare people or make them feel more uncomfortable than freedom. We all say we want more freedom, we say that, but no, we don't. Most of us, when we have situations in life, we have a chance to get out of the prison we hate. We take one look outside at that scary universe, back ourselves back in, shut the gate, and say, this place is fine, or we make up some excuses or something. You know what, I'm not going to pursue acting anyways, because, you got to be so cutthroat to get a role, and that's just not me. I'm just such a good, No, freedom is scary, really. And it's also, it's not just scary, it's the more you have of something, it means people are gonna hate you. They are. It's one of those things where it's yeah, if you have less of anything, time or money, than what other people have, they'll hate you. And if you have more time or money, they'll hate you too. It's there's this very thin line. And if you take a single step out of it, oh, well, be friendly, but, you also watch your back too, because that's just how it is, So for me, it was whoa, I felt it's been 6 years. I was in corrections for 6 years. And now it's I'm out. And it was I felt I had completely gone full circle from when this all started. 6 years out, 6 years in. I mean, 6 years in, 6 years out, and it was just so crazy. And I think that's one of the reasons why I want to make a video. It's like I'm back at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, what was I doing at the beginning? Well, gosh darn it, I was making videos. And it was like, wow, man. So it's like I wanted to make a video about that. But it is interesting, you see. I also want to talk about that thin line idea. Like there's this line of everything that is expected of you, and the tiniest step out, and it's like, well, it's good to step out, but be careful. Attack on Titan, I gotta mention that too. So it is one of those things where I remember I was gonna make another Wes Cecil video. I actually want to make a couple because I've really enjoyed his work, and his work has been very, very helpful for me these past 6 years because this is crazy. Who does that? And I'm crazy. I do that. So his work's been super helpful. I wanted to make a bunch of videos just praising and also offering some critiques of his work too, because we all need it. But also it's one of those things where after working on this top 10 Wes Cecil video for so long, it's just one of those things, I guess kind of like where I really don't like editing. I just don't. So I'm going to do this little pause. I just kept thinking finally, I had this same feeling like I don't want to do this. I love Wes Cecil's work, and he delivered on some of his lectures last year. His lecture is called Slavery or You Are Not a Slave. Fucking listen to it. I'll leave a link to the bottom to below. It's just he basically talks about we all love slavery. We love it. We are such a slave caste system just species. We are, and it's like, and it is one of those things where the ultimate slave master and the ultimate oppressor in your entire life will always be yourself. It is, and you do it to yourself on purpose because freedom is scary. The wilderness is terrifying. Oh, the prison sucks, and the food's terrible, my bitch wife or whatever. But it's like, well, most of us are too scared to step out. Do you know, the slightest step out is a lot like, not physically, but like emotionally, it's like Attack on Titan, stepping outside that wall. There's a lot of scary stuff there, and most people don't come back from that without, getting eaten alive a couple of times. So, the slavery lecture, but one of the ones I really want to talk about for the top 10, when he talked about Simone de Beauvoir, and I know I'm butchering that name, but you see, she was an existential philosopher in France, post-World War II. Her and Jean-Paul Sartre. And as part of existentialism, what she talked about, all of life, there's all these roles that get forced on you, whether you like it or not. There's all these expectations. Like from birth, there's all these things that every single thing is expected of you. You gotta go to school, you gotta go to high school, you gotta go to college, gotta get married, gotta have at least 2 kids. You, me, and I get asked all the time, like, when are we having our next kid? We're not, we're having one, but that's still because, there's all these things from birth to death that are expected of you. Gotta have the 2 kids, gotta make sure you have a certain career and everything, and there's all these things, and it's basically, her point is, first of all, this all gets externally pushed on you. Yeah, there's this thin line of all these things that are expected of you. How much little money you have or anything. And the slightest, anyways, and Wes Cecil said this, if you stay in this line, everybody will always love you and be your best friend. The slightest toe out, and they will come after you in some way or another, at least passive aggressively. And it's like, that's scary. And that's where most of us, we don't want to do that. We don't want to touch that. But she talks about how this is all externally pushed on us. Most of it comes internally. This pressure we put on ourselves because we don't have to. It's like every single one of us, it's our life, and we get to live it. We get to exist however we choose. Existentialism. But most of us chicken out, and that's the problem. And so that's what they talk about. So for me, it's I'm very comfortable. I'm so comfortable. It's like, it is. And it's like, it's just my life would be a lot more comfortable if I did anything else. Do you know? It's anything. Sell cars. And that's not, and that's, it's not to in any way like elevate me or like, look at me, I'm brave, because there's plenty of ways where I chicken out constantly. But I think that, anyways, that's it right there. So I finally got a feeling of that fear once again of like, just like, am I really doing this? Because, you know, before it's like, I guess it came full circle. I'll finish up here. Thank you for listening to about 10 minutes, because it's like, well, it's like I felt protected in the sense where it's like I'm so busy with Sophie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have free time, so it's like I'm so stuck, and it's like, there's still, since it's not being a stay-at-home dad, and I'm just going to say I dad from now on. Stay-at-home dad is too long. I'm just going to say, what do you do? I dad it. I think that's simpler. Stay-at-home dad. It's like, even though that is out of the line, and that's something where it's like, well, that can be, you know, you can, not yes and no, you can kind of get looks or what have you. Yeah, definitely. But now it was like, now that I also have, 18 hours of free time. Who's got that? You know, I have that time to write or make a video here and there. It's like, once again, it's like, happy to step out a little however I can. Happy to, you know, and it does definitely, you know, push me to like, okay, dude, better get your butt moving. You've been bitching about lack of free time. Better get cracking, you know? And, but also, just like, well, be mindful, because people are people, you know, and that's okay, because people are wonderful, but people are also people. It's, you know, it's, I hear so much, on Reddit, I check out like the stay-at-home dad board, just because technically, I won't say that, but, and it's so much whining. You know, like, so like, oh, people just don't understand, or they're so cruel, and why would they? Because they're people! And it doesn't matter, every single one of us, it's the same thing. We have this very thin view of how other people are supposed to be. And if anybody takes the slightest toe out of it, you know, I mean, like, oh God, we each have 10 million things. It's ridiculous. It drives me insane. Like, racism, sexism, homophobia, anti-Semitism. Horrible things we all gotta work on. But it's like, does anybody realize these are just the leaves? They're not even the roots. The roots is just, this is people. Do you know what I mean? Imagine a world where everybody simultaneously is Chinese, lesbian, and Jew. Imagine that. Really, everybody's a woman, everybody's Chinese, and they're Jewish, and they like women, and it's like, this would not change. It's just people would give shit to freckled Chinese lesbian Jews. You know? It's asinine. So it's like every time, for some reason, your life brings you where you're out of line, and you're getting shit from other people for it, well, it's like, well, duh! You know? Shut the fuck up! It's insane. You know? So, I mean, I see a guy leaving a Stewart's convenience store wearing a fucking, like, a fraternity boy hoodie, and he's drinking a can of Red Bull. I immediately think, there's a stupid douchebag, and I don't even know anything about him other than the thing he's drinking and his fraternity sweatshirt. You know what I mean? So, it's just, so that's, I don't know, but that's what's crazy, and that's what's interesting. And that's why I like doing what I do. Thank you very much. I'm Justin M. Bailey. Huzzah! Even my dog thinks I'm stupid for doing that. Huzzah! Thank you. Bye.